So the story of Citylife runs roughly like this. Um, Unemployment is a catastrophic event for people who are caught in that situation. It's demoralizing, it's discouraging at every level. You just feel you're worthless. And it's also a relational event because, first of all, it impacts on all your relationships. It's very difficult to keep up your friendships if you've got no money, if you can't invite people round, if you can't go down to the pub with people and offer them a round of drinks, all that kind of thing. So people get isolated, they get lonely, they get discouraged. Certainly that's true in the British context. So we felt that we had a calling to try and do something to tackle unemployment. It wasn't clear what we should do. But we also realised that unemployment is a relational event in the sense that if you're unemployed, you just feel nobody cares. Because the wealthy people in the city who could do something to help create the jobs or make something happen which enabled you to find a job, help you find training, help you if you need some training in relational skills or overcoming some psychological hang-up or problem that you've got. Those people who've got those capacities are just not doing anything about it. So you just feel nobody cares. Why doesn't somebody do something to help me out of this pit that I'm in? So we felt, well, we should try and find a way to engage the majority of citizens in Britain's big cities to do something. And we thought, well, what can they do? Most of them are very time strapped. They're very busy. They haven't got a lot of time to give to go and work directly with unemployed people. But what they do have, the wealthier citizens, of course, is some money. So what we thought of was, if we ask them to just give money, we're asking them to give money like every other charity around the country, and there are hundreds of thousands of those all competing for this giving. So rather than asking them to give money, could we ask them to lend money, interest-free, for a period? And we hit on 5 years as a reasonable period. And then people could give money out of their savings, money out of their pensions, money that they could spare for a year, maybe £500, £1,000, or even in some cases £5,000 or £10,000. It went right up to one bank who put in £1 million. So companies obviously gave larger amounts, individuals gave smaller amounts, and then we guaranteed to give them the money back at the end of the 5 years. And we did that by putting the money that we received into a large housing association that was building houses, so that they would then repay us the money with interest, and that interest rolled up over 5 years, resulting in about 25 or 30% of the total sum invested. So we would get that 25 or 30% generally up front. So we had that money to be able to finance a range of projects to help get unemployed people into work. And then we tried a whole range of schemes to enable them to get into work. So we set up a fund where people could apply for anything from £3,000 to £12,000, or even just £1,000 if they had a business idea and they could show us a business idea. It fell on its nose initially, it didn't work brilliantly well. We found that we needed to give them both money and somebody with business experience to give them advice, and then it started working really well. So we learned as we went along, and loads of people got into work. One guy I remember had been unemployed for 18 years, he had 4 children, he'd been in prison, he couldn't find a job. All he needed was £3,000, but he had nothing he could give as collateral for that loan, so he couldn't go to a bank and get it. So he, in the end, came to us, said, look, give me a van, give me some gardening equipment. And then for the next 10 years, he went out and earned his own living, using his van and his gardening equipment, replacing the van when he needed to. And he then went on Radio 4 in Britain to tell his story. That's the kind of success story that we wanted to see. So we were able to leverage up this money that the public gave. So as soon as the public had given the money, the government said, well, we'll match that. If the public give it, we'll double it. Then the Europeans said, oh, we like this idea too, we'll put some money in against this. So we were able to leverage up what we were given in various ways, so it actually became quite a significant amount of money in the end. So the amounts we got from cities were anything from sort of 500,000 up to £2 million. So you then take 25 or 30% of that as what was actually available for us to use. So these are not huge sums of money, but then with the leveraging up as well, and we were able to do quite a lot with that.